All right, good morning, or whenever you're watching this. I have 2 soil jobs to do. Now, not in one day. I'm gonna do them back to back. One's gonna be 24 yards of soil, and this is just good compost dirt, typical crappy new build, unleveled, not in great shape. So we're gonna get that, and then the other is in better shape, but the main concern's more uneven. So we're gonna get a compost sand mix because sand levels better, and because the yard's in decent shape, we can do that. So that's what we're gonna do. So 24 yards plus 12 yards in 2 days. I was supposed to start yesterday. I got rained out, so I'm starting today nice and early. So I'll bring you along with me, show you the process of what I'm doing, and if anything goes wrong or delays or how it goes. So come and join me as I do it, and I'm gonna bring you along with both days. So right now, I'm gonna go pick up, well, I'm gonna go to Buc-ee's, get fuel, get Buc-ee's snacks, then go pick up the equipment to go start job number 1. So let's get on the way. All right, I got my equipment and I'm here at the job. It's a bit of a windy day, so I'm sorry how this audio turns out, but I'm absolutely trying my best. So here is the equipment that I need for the job. My ride-on aerator. I do a core aeration before every soil job. My dingo. This is to scoop dirt into the top dresser. And this is what top dresses the lawn. As you can see, it has a setting on here, how much dirt comes out. The brush the conveyor belt goes and the brush spins, and that's how it puts the dirt out nice and evenly. And I've already flagged the irrigation heads. I like to get that done right away so it can dry up a bit. But as you can see, this is now, we've had like 3 days of rain, so this is probably the best this lawn's looked in a while. It doesn't look too bad, but when you get close up, you can really see all the thin and bare. I mean, look, it's this whole lawn's like this. Typical new build, I call forever okay lawn. The soil's crap, it holds moisture, the roots rot away, it has no natural nutrients. Sure, you can feed it, but you have to continue to feed it to give it anything, and it just forever looks okay. See, even after 3 days of rain, it's like half drought stressed and real crunchy, because that's how poor the root system is. Not enough to die, but definitely not enough to thrive. And I mean, this is a big corner lot, and this is all the way throughout. I mean, this lawn doesn't get better anywhere at all. Now you can see I'm doing 24 yards of dirt. This is my first bit of dirt, and you can see this is a very dark, rich dirt here. The compost in, yes, it's clumpy, but because I'm using a top dresser, the brushes will help break that down. So I'm actually really not too worried about the clumps, because the machine will do the work. Now, if I was doing this by hand, I would have to get more of a sand mix. And because I've tested this soil, just with I didn't take it to a lab or anything, but I just, put a soil probe in, looked at it, it's pure sand. So that's why I'm not mixing any of this with sand, because it's all sand underneath here. So there's no need to, and I'm not worried about it getting too muddy or mucky, because 24 yards overall is still only going to be 2.5 to 3 inches thick throughout the lawn, so there'll still be plenty of sand base in the soil to allow it to drain. But now it'll just have dirt and nutrients. So, but as you can see, just all around not great. And even the neighbor, that spot's a little rough. And that's someone who's probably constantly fertilizing. If you stopped fertilizing, the lawn will go downhill quick. And overall, it looks pretty decent, especially compared to this. But when you get close up and look down, you can still see it is a little bit thin. And that's nothing to their fault if they're fertilizing it or their company. It's just the soil. I mean, there's just only so much food you can put down. So as you can see, even some of the good looking lawns still just aren't as thick and lush as they really should be, and that's a soil base, and it probably takes a ton of fertilizer, probably 3 to 4 times as much fertilizer as you should need to get here, and that's because of the soil. So then here is the backyard. Same old, I mean, just thin and not great overall. But that's what I'm here to fix. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to aerating and get started on top dressing this lawn.
I like to trace all the edges of your name, like a map that leads me to nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm so close to let go of the world unknown. Need to be wherever you are, so take me there. No compass, no light. I keep looking for signs, but they're nowhere to be found. If this is where I'm meant to be, then let it be. If it means that I'm yours, don't you set me free. I'm gonna get lost in you, get lost in you, get lost in you. The only way out is through, way out is through. I'm lost in you. Gonna get lost in you, get lost in you, get lost in you. The only way out is through, way out is through. I'm lost in you.
All right, I've been at the soil job for a few hours now and got my first coat done on the front yard. Now the good news is it's so overcast, there's been no sun today, so I'm really not even sweating. Makes the soil a little wet, but it's actually not too wet at all where it doesn't spread evenly. It's just gonna be harder for cleanup. But as you can see, this is a nice good one coating. I always do this first to make sure that I get everything covered that I want to. On this job, I usually get an extra load than I need to, but I get that it costs more, so I give people the option, say, hey, this is the right amount, and you'll definitely get what the results we want, but this is what I would prefer. That way in the worst areas, I know I have plenty of dirt can coat, so I usually open the thing up all the way. I close it a little bit when I do the right amount, so I can make sure that I get everything covered and can still do thick in some of the areas. But I just have to be a little more careful. This was a bad area. I've done this way twice, this a few times, but this whole front yard is done, and as you can see, I've really only gone through about a pile and a half. I have 2 more truckloads coming, but I'm gonna go into the backyard now. Like I said, get a good coating of everything first, and then I come back over again for the worst areas. So taking a nice little break, hopefully a truckload comes because I'm gonna line it up with the back, gives me less driving to do, and get at it.
Maybe I should bite my tongue, say the air in my lungs. It doesn't matter what I say if we don't communicate. But you made me a believer, and I won't believe that it's the end. Please tell me all your reasons. You change your mind like the seasons once again, 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 again. But better get to running, our time is running out. Oh honey, I'm in doubt. But baby, just say something. The silence is too loud. Where's the love when I'm around? Ooh, ooh. But better get to running, better get to running, better get to running. The time is running out. I'm sick of putting fires out. I'll let them burn to the ground. Or is there a better way for you to realize we need
right, and here we are all finished. A full day. A full day of slinging dirt down. Now this was 24 yards over this entire yard, and we have another job tomorrow. But something I want to answer while you're thinking of is, Chad, why did you use just black dirt? When you say use, a black cow sand blend a lot of the time. And well, here, this is not nearly as goopy as black cow is. So it's definitely on the lighter side, as you can probably, I don't know if you can tell, but it's not nearly as mucky as black cow gets. And also, I've checked the soil here and it's pure sand underneath. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to level the lawn a bit, and this will do, but we're trying to get organic matter and good soil in. So the core aeration before in just pure black soil, I mean just a few inches thick. And the crazy thing is this is going to, that's 2.5, 3 inches thick. This is going to settle so quick because of the core aeration. But that's why I did this. I know it's pure sand underneath. I know the issue, so I know what I need to solve it. Now you're gonna see in the same video tomorrow, my job is actually I'm using a compost sand blend, and that's because the concern on that lawn is more to level the lawn, where this was, the lawn was in awful shape, and yeah, we want to get some soil and get rid of those bumps, but mainly we want the lawn to look so much better. Where this next yard, the lawn looks pretty good, but the main concern is leveling. And I checked the soil, and of course we're in Florida, it's still sandy, but it's not pure sand like this new build. It actually has a little bit better of a base. So we're going to use a blend, just like I usually recommend, that black cow sand blend. This is a compost sand blend that we're going to use tomorrow, that of course you're going to see here in a little bit. But that's what I wanted to explain, because you're probably wondering why I did it this way. And I've done many like this, but as you can see, this yard is just completely covered. I mean, front and back. The whole, I'm not gonna bother walking around the whole thing because it's been all day long. As you can tell, the sun was on the other side of the screen when I started, and now it's on this side. But I mean, look at this. So of course, keep watching my videos, and I'll be back to follow up, because I'm actually going to put some fungicide down, and they had some weeds, so treat some weeds for them in a few weeks to make sure this lawn has the success we want. But as you can see, that is it. 24 yards of dirt laid down. This yard looks like dirt, but it's amazing. We're going to get some really good results. And now we're going to be on and do tomorrow's job, which, like I said, is a little bit of a different soil because we're trying to achieve a different goal. So the goal you're trying to achieve for the lawn is very important to the soil that you use. And a black cow sand blend is pretty good because I don't know exactly what your yard looks like, and I'm not sure, or exactly what your soil looks like, and I'm not sure you do. So a black cow sand blend is great because if it's really sandy, it'll still work, and if it's a little bit darker, it'll still work. So that way you're playing it more on the safe side, making sure you're using something you know will work. So I'm gonna wash up, and actually someone else wanted to check out the services, so I'm gonna go see them. But I will see you guys tomorrow, which in here will just be in about 1 second. And we're back to the next day. So I'm gonna go do that other soil job, but first, I don't know if you've seen my other video, I have to go back to a job I did, but some of the soil got really compacted. It was very compacted area already, and I had to do a lot of driving over it to get to a massive backyard. So the soil kind of hardened over. So I'm gonna bring the aerator while I have it and loosen that soil back up. So we're gonna go there and do that first, and then gonna head to the final soil job of this video to get that top dressing down. All right, so this is the area I was just talking about. As you can see, it's a bit hard packed down, and sometimes it can get like this in areas, but it usually doesn't get this bad. But two reasons it happened here is this, it didn't poke through as much because this there was some work done in the back, so this was already heavily trafficked and compacted. And then secondly, I traffic and compacted it more because it's a very large backyard. and this was the only way through. The other side's very narrow. So it kind of packed down more than I would like, even though it's poking through decently, but it should be a lot better. So I brought the aerator back about 2 weeks later, and I'm gonna break this hard soil up to help it poke through. The cool thing about the aerator is that I can set how deep the tines go. So I'm only gonna go 2 inches. Maybe I'll switch it to 1.5 inches depending on how it does. That way I'm not going too deep, because I just did an aeration not too long ago, but just enough to try to loosen up this top layer of soil. So let's see how it does. And just like that, it's all done. I think it worked really, really well. Went over it several times, set it to 2.5 inches, and it broke up. Obviously, you know, there's where the tire marks go, but either way, this got broken up a lot, as you can see. So I think it looks much better. That's gonna allow it to breathe and not be so packed down and let that grass grow through. It's definitely a much, much better result. I'm actually pretty happy with how well it worked. I went over it several times, and so I didn't really go deep enough to get into the grass because I just aerated it, so I didn't want to do more damage. But as you can see, it's not that hard packed shell that it once was. So I think we're gonna get really good results out of this, and we're gonna be happy. So keep watching my videos. I'll follow back up to see how this obviously does and make sure it stayed loosened up and it's filling in. Now I'm gonna be on the way to my other soil job here in a bit. So to get that done, that's more of a top dressing than doing the compost. So I'm gonna really be able to show you the soil differences from this, well, the job I just did, this job compared to this next one coming up. All right, and here I am at the final soil job here. So let's take a look what we're doing. Now, as you can see, this yard's in a lot better shape, and so is the neighbors. The soil here is a bit better. But what you can't see when you, I mean, you know, especially from the side, it looks better. It's a little bit thin, but nothing crazy. But what you can't tell is like how uneven this is. I mean, this sod was laid by a blind man. I mean, seriously, these gaps and holes between the sod is insane. Even though it has, you know, filled in, you can still obviously feel it, but it's so hard to tell, and it's really bad. That's usually common in new build, but this one's one of the worst. And it's, you know, front and backyard. So what we're doing today is I'm top dressing the yard, but this is more, we're gonna get some good soil down. As you can see, it's dark, but this is more of an actual top dressing more of a leveling the lawn. As you can see, this is a bit of a finer soil. So this is that same compost I've been using, but mixed with sand. And this is gonna allow for a better level. And because the soil is better, we get a lot of rain here in Florida. We don't want to do just compost when there's already some decent soil in there. So we have a bit of a sandier blend that we're going to top dress today out of the machine, because overall the lawn's looking pretty good. We just want to get it leveled. Now we're still going to follow the same process. We're still going to aerate, and I'm actually still going to fertilize, but my fertilizing is going to be very light. I just wanted to give it a little bit of food to make sure, you know, it grows, to make sure we get some growth after I put the soil down. But so all the processes are going to be the same. It's just going to be a lot lighter. And because the lawn's thicker, you're not going to see all the dirt. Even though this is a way smaller lawn, and that's a good amount of dirt, which is 12 yards, you're not going to see it because the lawn's thicker. It's gonna lay down more in, and again, that's where we want it, because the bigger goal here is to actually level the lawn, but we're gonna do some top dressing as well. So let's get right to it.
Away Could you let me stay for now? I think you got away somehow. Did you get away somehow? I think you got away somehow. Did you get away somehow? Way somehow, way somehow. Best way out is always through. I think you got away somehow. Did you get away somehow? Somehow, somehow, somehow. Somehow, somehow, somehow. Somehow, somehow, somehow. Best way out is always somehow, somehow, somehow. Somehow, somehow, somehow. Somehow, somehow, somehow. Best way out is always.
Move out the way like damn. Try to get my van. Lapped up, try to get my. Get low for me, baby, no hands. Goddamn, like damn. In the ends, I'm feeling like bam. Throwing bands and it's making them dance. Like, do you know who I am? Stick with me, I got a plan. Try to get my van. Lapped up, try to get my. Get low for me, baby, no hands. Goddamn, like damn. Try to get my van. Lapped up, try to get my. Get low for me, baby, no hands. Goddamn, like damn. In the ends, I'm feeling like bam. Throwing bands and it's making them dance. Like, do you know who I am? Stick with me, I got a plan. I got a plan. Stick with me, I got a plan. Like, do you know who I am? Throwing bands and it's making
All right, and that is it. Another top dressing job completed. Like I said, this one's a little different because we were trying to just really level it out because the sod is so bad. And oh my gosh, let me tell you what, I was riding on that aerator and that top dresser. I've never been bouncing around so much. This was by far the worst laid sod, and at least it looked good so we could use the proper soil. But look at that. I mean, this is nice and thick all around. I'm really happy. I actually even had so much extra, well, not so much extra, but I had extra that I had nowhere else really to put it down anymore. So I put a pile in the back because this is good soil. So I said, well, if you ever need a plants or want to do anything, you'll have the soil. But as you can see, just all down the side, and you'll see all through the back, there's that extra pile I put there. I put down a little bit of fertilizer, not as much as I normally would, because this lawn's already nice and thick. But as you can see, now it looks liney because the tire tracks push it down, but it lays over the tire tracks, so it's still laying it evenly, even though it looks like real hilly where the tire marks are, and that's just because it's matted down. Once it gets watered in and rains, it'll all sink levelly. So I know you can see the tire tracks more, but that's because where the tires go, it kind of pushes the dirt down, especially in a thicker lawn. It really looks like that, but it'll settle nicely. Mother Nature will allow it to settle in the smaller spots, especially with heavier rains. And then there's a little bit of extra dirt. So this will be great results here. I mean, the lawn already looks good, so we know the lawn's gonna thrive. That's not gonna be a problem there, but it's really gonna level this lawn out nicely. So I'm super happy. I believe the customer will be super happy. That's a lot of dirt done in 2 days. Knocked it out, pretty minimal issues. The belt started kind of messing up on the top dresser at the end, but luckily it was at the end. And I got everything I needed to done anyway, so it didn't make a big deal, but that's it. Now keep watching these videos because I will follow up and check these results out. This one's gonna be pretty obvious, but especially the first one I did, that lawn was in horrid shape, and I'll be going back there a lot. So if you want to see the updates, just stay tuned with these videos. I'll be going back, following up, checking them all out. And I'm excited how these will come out. So if you have any questions about doing this yourself or questions about me doing it, whatever, just feel free to go in below in the comments. Check out bettercallchad.com, support me on Patreon, whatever you want to do. And I'll keep making my educational videos as well, but in the meantime, figure while I'm working, I'll show you exactly what I'm out here doing. So I always appreciate the support, and everyone have a great rest of your day.